Thanks to the support as a channel member, Will Johnson. Well, here we go then, folks. Back in Europe, as long as it doesn't go wrong today, we've got a Conference League playoff. If we navigate this, I've been saying it all along, I think this is a winnable trophy. We also want to get back into the Champions League this year, but we have a tiny, tiny squad. We do still have £9 million to spend, but the transfer window closes in like 4 days. This is going to be a busy one. Hello and welcome to part 65 of the Tour de France. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a game. I think this is Braga. I don't know why they don't have their actual name. It must be a Football Manager licensing thing that I'd not noticed early enough to fix before the save started. We've got the second leg against them. We are 3-1 up from the first leg. Winner, I think, makes it into the group stages. And then we've also got a Ligue 1 game against Lille, who have also started the season very well. Remember a few years ago when both us and Lille were in a relegation battle? Goodness me, how we've turned things around since those days. That does indicate there should be some teams that were previously up here that are starting to fall down the league. I mean, Monaco screaming out at me as one of those at the moment, but presumably they're not going to be down there for very long. I did mention there's money, nearly £9 million to spend. We are working on transfers as all this is going on. We don't currently have one on the way. I mean, for goodness sake, we need some transfers. Deadline day is approaching. We need at least 3 players, I think. We need at least 1 central midfielder, maybe 2. Someone else who can be a backup for the full attack, and maybe someone who can be a backup for the entire defence. Maybe a centre mid and a holding mid. There's plenty that still needs to be done. First, let's play a football match. Then I can worry about that in a minute. What has Past Kev done here? Why has he left me with so much still to do? So, the team for the game against Braga, we've got Magothu in goal, our new 20-year-old goalkeeper, who I guess we could just spend the money on signing him or Milinkovic permanently. That's the other option. If it gets to half an hour to go on deadline day, there's certainly the possibility 8.75 million signs this guy permanently, a 5-star potential goalkeeper who's 20 years old, already a 3-star Ligue 1 standard player who could improve a lot and has come into the team and looked fantastic so far. There is such a strong argument for just throwing all the money at him and securing our forever goalkeeper. But that probably doesn't help us this season. That'd be very similar to selling the entire squad to pay for Omar previously. It's great in the long term, but it doesn't really help us now. And we saw what happened last season when we focused on the long term rather than the now. We ended up in the Conference League. And we want to be back in the Champions League, because otherwise the likes of Millet and Omar, who are attracting attention from Champions League clubs, Marseille, I think, are up there. Leipzig definitely would be. I mean, you've got big clubs there that we're not going to be able to keep them away from forever if we're not playing at that level too. So there's a balancing act to be done today, and I'm not sure which side of the seesaw I'm going to fall on. So we've got Magothu in goal, a back four of Simon, Say, Bertrand and Frey, Thomas, Milinkovic and Fowry in midfield, and then Millet and Nguema supporting Afkir Omar up front. Omar got a hat-trick in the first leg and was absolutely fantastic. So fingers crossed he continues his brilliant start to the season and just helps us secure our spot in the group stages. That being said, I don't necessarily want him to play too well, because we've previously turned down a £21 million offer and most recently a £31 million offer from Leipzig for Afkir Omar. At the moment, we are still in a position to turn him down. We've got plenty of money. We've got £20 million in the bank. The new ground's on the way. We've just spent £5 million on our new training ground. The money is fine. My worry is if the fee gets too big, the board might decide even more money would be even better and sell him out from under me, which would be a disaster. What is bordering on a disaster is going behind early on in this match. We were comfortably 3-0 up in the first leg and looked like we were cruising. We let in a late goal in the first leg, and now we've conceded first here in the second leg, despite dominating the opening of the match. And there is a little bit of concern that we might be messing this up here, because, I mean, goal line technology might have something to say about that one. Magothu, I mean, he might be giving me a reason to not spend £9 million on him, because he looked a little bit flaily there. Although I will emphasise he's 20 years old. This is only his 4th game of football. I mean, he's probably played a game of football before, but not at this level. This is his 2nd European game ever. But it is Braga who are on the attack again. And if they grab a second goal here, the tie is level and we're going to be starting to feel just a smidgen panicky. Thomas should be relied upon to be able to put a a steady hand on things and show his experience and leadership from the base of the midfield. That's poor from Frey, who should also have a leadership and experience as well. But there's Mille playing it into Nguema. It's a lovely pass, Nguema with the chance, and probably should have done a little bit better and finished that one off. We have got a corner, though. Couple of minutes left in this first half. It's Thomas to take, looking for that near post where Nguema is lurking again, and he can't get a proper connection. And now there's the possibility for a counter-attack, and we need to deal with that counter-attack, because I can't emphasize enough how little I want them to grab a second goal. That would be ever so alarming. Right, 1-0 down at half-time, still 3-2 up on aggregate. I am a little bit worried about the fitness levels of the players, as you would expect with such a small squad. This 11 have basically played every match so far, and as you can see, they're tiring, although that is a knock for Omar, but still, we have to take him off because we can't risk him, which means Mille can go up front, Benavides comes on the left-hand side. But now, if Braga do score again, we've then got to score without our main goal threat. Although we have got the European golden boy up front for us at the moment, albeit only for a couple more minutes because he is now tiring and needs to come off. And this is the problem of having such a small squad. We're not really able to keep them nicely rotated the way we would want to. So Di Girolamo comes on up front. I'm looking at the bench. We've only got one more substitution to make. It's going to be Vaquero, and we're going to bring him on for Fowry. There is probably an argument that Quentin Merlin probably plays that role better than Vaquero, but I just think Vaquero in general is a better player, so I'd rather have Vaquero on the pitch. And we've seen Vaquero offer attacking options for us in the past, so you never know, maybe he will reinvent himself as a centre mid on attack. Nguema very nearly grabbing the equaliser there. He has been our biggest goal threat today, which is a little bit alarming. I mean, look at those match stats. I don't really understand how we haven't just sorted this out and got ourselves through 20 minutes ago in this match, if not even longer. I think there's a lot of complacency has got into this match, and now real danger as we go into the final 10 minutes. And there is the second goal for Braga. It's 2-0 on the night, 3-3 on aggregate. There are no away goals in Europe anymore, so we don't need to worry about that. What we do need to worry about is we're now in this situation where we have to score, and we have Di Girolamo up front and a bunch of tired players around him. That's really poor from Say. I mean, getting knocked out of Europe here is a disaster when it comes to player attention, because I think our big stars will just want to leave at that point to play in Europe this year. It would, however, if we could keep hold of them, be quite useful when it comes to qualifying for the Champions League again next year, to not have all these extra games to play with such a small squad. So, I mean, not that I'm going to try and claim at this point that we're going to deliberately get knocked out, but it would definitely have its upsides. Not enough upsides to justify it, though. We need to get back into this game. I was not anticipating this today. Right, Merlin is now going to come on. We're going to bring him on for Nguema because I want to shuffle the front three around. We're going to stick Benavides up top because he just seems a little bit more of a goal threat. Merlin can go out there as a winger. It is desperate times when we're having to play Quentin Merlin on the wing again. We haven't really had to do that for about a year and a half. This, more than anything so far, is really emphasising just how much we need more players in this squad. We have 17 outfield players in this squad. That just is not enough, especially when 5 of them are centre-backs. Di Girolamo playing it forward to Frey. Frey looking for the cross. He has got Benavides in front. Benavides is there, and his header touches off the top of the crossbar, goes behind for the goal kick, and those match stats are really starting to upset me because I feel like we're heading towards a penalty shootout, even though we have been so much better than them across 2 legs. Both matches we have been the better team, but today we just haven't finished them off when we should have done, and it's going to cost us. Vaquero trying to slot Di Girolamo in. He's got Benavides in the middle. I think Vaquero is charged forward into the middle as well. Frey trying to get the cross in. It falls to Thomas, and now Thomas out to Simon. Merlin, come on, we've got Benavides in the middle. Just get a cross in. That's got to be a penalty. It is a penalty. It's going to be Frey to take. Our oldest, most experienced player with the opportunity from the penalty spot to put us back ahead in the tie with less than 10 minutes of extra time remaining, and he scores. Oh, I love having a cool head around in situations like this. 2-1 to Braga still on the night. Still not an acceptable performance from us, but we are now back to 4-3 on aggregate, and fingers crossed we don't gift them a third goal, because they haven't deserved the 2 that they've scored. They certainly wouldn't deserve a third unless, you know, they play really well for the next couple of minutes. I am still going to encourage because I don't want to lose a football match. I think we've started in very good form, and I would like to at least salvage the draw from here. But Bertrand now has missed his header. They're in again, and Makothu now trying to show me that I should go and spend all the money on him by making a very important save. It's not even right at the end of this match. There's still 8 minutes of extra time to go. Vaquero heading it clear, but only as far as another Braga player. They are piling the pressure on here, and I am not enjoying any of it. They are now trying to get down this left-hand side. Di Girolamo with the foul, and now the free kick comes in. Magothu punches clear when I would have much preferred him to catch it. Benavides does not have the physical oomph to hold the ball up there when he really needed to. He's not that kind of player. They're in again here, and that is a huge miss. Oh, my word. We are giving them some chances in these final few minutes, but we have just got a minute and a half left. Our XG today is over 4, and our only goal has come from the penalty spot. We're supposed to have some of the best young attacking players in Europe, and this has been pathetic. Yes, they're shattered, but still, and there is another equaliser, 119 minutes on the clock. And when you equalise at that point of the game, that's not the stuffing out of us. I think we're out of the Conference League here, because there's no way we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off for a penalty shootout when we just conceded a goal like that at that stage of the game. I'm a little bit embarrassed about this, to be honest, because I kind of assumed it would be a foregone conclusion that we were going to make it into the Conference League this year. This is nightmarish, and I am genuinely a little bit worried that off the back of this result, we're going to get a transfer request from Omar and have to accept the next £18 million offer we get because all of a sudden he doesn't want to be here. And not only do we lose him for far less than we could have got for him 3 days ago when he thought he was going to be playing in Europe. I don't know if the Conference League is enough of a draw to set off that chain of events. I thought Magothu was going to make the save there, but he's kind of pushed it into the roof of the net. Frey, we've already seen score a penalty in this match. Fingers crossed he can do it again. He does. It's 2-2. Both teams, 100% accuracy from the penalty spot so far, and all eyes back on our 20-year-old loney goalkeeper again as Braga step up, and once again, it is a goal for them, 3-2, and now it's Quentin Merlin. How this man is still a squad player at this football club, I do not know. Perhaps he's about to show us. Oh, blimey, that was dangerously close to being a save. It's 3-3, 2 penalties left each before we hit sudden death. We could really use a save here, please. I tell you what, if Magothu wins us the penalty shootout, we'll go and sign him. That would be a terrible idea because we'd then be playing in Europe with a 17-man squad. So it's probably best that we, get knocked out, only have to play 34 games this season, and then can go and buy some other players. But, I didn't say any of that. Just save it, please. Do a save. No? Well, huge pressure now on our penalty taker number 5. I don't even know who it is. We just hit auto select because that's what the cool kids do in situations like this. It is Oliver Vaquero, probably the longest serving player on the pitch. If you count from when his debut was until now. Obviously he had a few years away. Vaquero. And he scores. It's 5-5. Oh, it's going to be one of these. I'm glad I've got a beverage ready. Goodness me. Lovely coffee at my faded flash cup. And it's 6-5. Of course it's 6-5. It's just one of these penalty shootouts. Clearly. Oh, can we just keep scoring until that? Let them be the one who misses penalty 13 or something ridiculous. Right, Bertrand, who was a little bit iffy towards the end of the game. I mean, he was shattered, so I'll let him off, but he's probably still shattered now. And there you go. We are out of Europe. And, well, he's not exactly endeared himself to the Tour faithful with his first couple of matches at the club. After we chased him for so long, we absolutely should not have been knocked out of that tournament. And I am now terrified that one of these inbox messages is going to be Omar's transfer request. Omar's injured. When we knew about that, he's out for 3 days. Can't believe we've been knocked out of that. I mean, the money that's going to cost us as well. Well, we don't immediately get the transfer request. So I guess if we're going in with a small squad, it's better not to be in Europe. There's no excuses now. We've got to qualify for the Champions League again this year, or this club is actually starting to move backwards. We need players. Right, we have some transfers that we're working on. We're trying to bring this guy in on loan from Monaco for the season, who can give us cover at the back, but also play in central midfield and give us another option there. We're trying to bring this guy in on loan from Paris Saint Germain for the season, who can be something a little bit different, a more attacking option out of central midfield. We're also trying to sign this guy permanently from Monaco because he's got lots of potential and he's quite cheap. We are making moves. Hopefully there will be some business concluded before the transfer window closes. But first, we have to play Lille, and we're making some changes for this match. Omar is not fully fit. Frey is absolutely shattered off the back of that previous game. Simon is tired as well. And we're having to play Milinkovic and Say, who are tired because we're running out of options to replace them with. But this is the team we've got. Magothu in goal, a back four of Merlin at left back. Fine. That might be the next T-shirt. Say, Matsima and Bertrand complete the rest of the back four. Then Thomas at the base of the midfield, Milinkovic and Fowry ahead of him. Benavides on the left, Di Girolamo on the right, Millet up front. It's not the strongest team we've ever put out there. It does emphasise where there are potential gaps in the squad depth. I'm looking at you, left back. And that's, we obviously sold Cisse and Kambedi this summer just gone, and we've only really brought in one left back as a replacement, although Say is equally comfortable playing at left back. If we didn't have to change around the centre backs as well, Say could have easily dropped out there. So I'm not that concerned about left back. I am concerned about the midfield. The midfield has a five who are all tired, and the three in the middle are not at all rotated today. They're just tired. The two wide players, of course, are rotation options, and the only rotation options we've got. We don't really have anything to come off the bench. We're already behind in the match, and there's nobody fully fit really on that bench to come on, which is not a good situation to be in. We have not started well at all. The season had started really, really well until I did that stupid thing. I closed the game, and since then we have been dross. I've turned the game back on to record this episode, and we have been rubbish. It's just been turned on its head. We've now got Milinkovic, who's taken a knock. We don't have... I guess we've got Vaquero on the bench who could come on for him. Benavides has hit the post there, I think. It might be time to take Milinkovic off, though, although I'm loath to do so because he's so much better than most of the players that we've got. But if he's struggling, he is struggling. We're all struggling. 5 substitutions isn't going to be enough in this game. I need to be able to change all 11, and even... we don't even have the option to do it because we don't have another 11 players we can bring on. We only have 6 more first-team players, first-team outfield players outside of the ones that are on the pitch. Oh, we need 4 players. Even those 3 we've already identified, even if we get all of them, that's not enough players. We still need to be active on deadline day, which, of course, you'll see in tomorrow's episode. You'll find out what we got up to and how I spent this war chest that we've accumulated and just basically held on to for far too long. What I would quite like to do now is grab an equaliser and maintain our unbeaten start to the season in the league, and then everything is okay again, and I don't have to start becoming Mr. Negative. Oh, good. I always love to catch up with Vukovic, who could have been one of ours so many years ago, but of course never did. One day we'll bring him home. He only spent 6 months here on loan, but one day we'll bring him home. This is his real home. Right, Nguema's coming on. Yeah, we bring on Omar. I think we kind of have to. Omar's going to come on. We're going to take off Milinkovic, and Vaquero's going to come on for him. Merlin, as you would expect, is having a terrible game. And then for the final change, Say is shattered, so Alonso can come on for him. James Carr must be looking at how we've played in these 2 matches, wondering if he's ever going to play a game of football for us, because we've been really poor in both of them with the tiny squads that we've got and players playing through injuries, and he hasn't played a minute of football across 2 matches, despite there being 5 substitutions available for this game, of which he was one, and he still doesn't get to come on. That suggests we're a little bit overloaded in centre-backs and need to strengthen in other areas, which I think we probably already knew. But please, we've got 20 minutes. Let's just do a football. That would be a very nice way to end what has been a very unpleasant episode. For me personally, Say is rubbish. Say's rubbish. Bertrand's rubbish. They're all rubbish. We've spent so much money on defenders. I dare not check I suspect at this point I've spent more money on centre-backs than we got for Big Willie, who's now playing in the Premier League, having been sold on to Southampton for like £30 million from Salzburg. But we got, what, 18 million for him? We spent 4 on Say, another 4 on Bertrand, a couple of million on Carr, Alonso's 1.5. I mean, the numbers are close to, and all we needed to do was keep Big Willie. But then, of course, we don't have Omar. So, I mean, I'm glad this has happened during the transfer window, because if things had gone too well, I might have started to get silly ideas about, actually, you know what? This squad's probably fine. It's big enough. We're doing well. We're beating the teams around us. It's fine. What I've learnt today is no, this squad is not big enough. As soon as we had to play 2 games in a week, we crumbled. We need at least a 23-man squad. If you're including 3 goalkeepers in your squad, we need a 23-man squad. That means at least 3 new players, and probably then some. This has been embarrassing. 3-0 down against this lot. We lost against Braga as well. We have not looked like we've ever played a game of football together before. And the scary thing is the reason we're in this mess is because it's largely last season's team. Oh dear. Well, lessons learned. I'm going to go and do some transfers, and tomorrow I'm going to be really happy with loads of new players, and we're going to be top of the league, maybe. Probably not top of the league, but hopefully not rubbish anymore. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.